Friday, a chilly high of just 10 degrees and a cool weekend is upon us. Speaking of cool, this is the man they call Matt Lee, here to talk about real estate stats compared to exactly a year ago.
Yeah, so we're going to do September 2018 compared with September 2017 just to see how the curve is going, and things are looking good. You know, we're continuing along. We're seeing, and we'll talk about the stats, we're seeing less inventory, so we see how things change with that. So
well, that's been the big trend this past year.
Yeah, and you know, as I've mentioned before, the National Real Estate Association is saying that they seem to think that that's going to happen over the next 2 to 3 years.
That long?
Yeah, they seem to think that it's going to continue for a while. So I mean, we're going to see what will change our market along the way is maybe interest rates or the lack of inventory. So we kind of have to see how we even that out.
Okay, first set of numbers we will look at. These are quantity sold this year versus last year.
So you see that we're down 3%, you know, and that's not something to panic about. 2018, we have 291. 2017, in September, there was 299 sold.
And this is just 1 month?
This is just 1 month. So this is Kingston Board, and it goes basically from the far side of Napanee to the far side of Gananoque, almost to Brockville, including the islands and Leeds, and basically up to Highway 7. So we're including a large area for 1 month.
Okay.
And
And the average sale price?
Yeah, so we look at it has, and then we were looking at approximately 10%. And we see 2018, it's up to 348,191. Last year was 317,085. So
that seems like a big jump in just 1 year.
It's caused, and we do see that 10% seems like a lot. We've gone on this trend of the 3 to 5% for many years, and when we start to see lack of inventory, even though people are using their discretion in regards to what they're going to get involved with, whether they're going to get involved with that multiple offer or not, you're still seeing that it is driving prices because people do want to move to the next step.
Is 10%, is that a high number across the board for the province?
Tough to tell. We're seeing, my understanding is that this is happening across the board in regards to lack of inventory. So, you know, in theory, that would happen all the way around. But, you know, I have heard stories that are just in the GTA in areas like that outside that aren't happening as much. So we have to watch that ripple effect. You want to know what's going on in different markets, so and especially bigger markets, to see what's going to come down our way.
Okay, next set of numbers, this is the median.
Yeah, so when we look at the median, you're kind of taking out the oddballs. You're taking out the bigger ones. If you had a $5 or $10 million sale, you take those out. And you know, if you had these $50,000, $100,000 sales, you take those out as well. So then all of a sudden we're seeing what the actual median is, and I mean it jumped from 290 in September 2017 to 330 in 2018, 14%. This is a big number. So we're seeing that the fall got kicked off really quickly. We didn't really see that blip. Normally we see this July and August kind of slow down, and then we kind of continue September through till snow flies. Things kind of continue to go up again. I think that things kind of kicked off really early. I mean, it was just really quick. So,
and you know, you talk about how people you know, list or they go see homes in the fall, maybe late fall, early winter, and it really doesn't nosedive when there's snow on the ground.
Yeah, you start to get into cold winters. People hibernate. Just, you know, it's human activity. I mean, I think that you see that as soon as there's a bunch of snow, that it's difficult to see. You know, you get into minus 15 weather. People don't want to go out. I mean, buying houses isn't the thing. It's so funny, but you're right. We see the fall buy. I mean, September to December 1st, and I've bought 2 different houses in November, and I've moved in January. The end of January, twice. You're thinking, oh, I don't want to move in snow, but the perfect house comes up, and you end up doing it. So. It's just what happens.
Well, last set of numbers here. This is the quantity active.
Yeah, so we're seeing, this is the reasoning for the drive up in median and average and the actual sale price going down. This all comes down to this. 2018 is 1560 is what is active on the market. In 2017 it was 1634. We're down by 60 listings compared to last year, and it's been a going trend over the years. I mean, if we went back last year, we would have the same thing from the year before. We talked about this. We've talked about this for 3 years now, where all of a sudden it's just continuing to go down, shrinking that active market, and then it causes people to get into more of looking at the same house because there's less on the market.
We're doing pretty good, aren't we?
Things are great.
Okay. Thank you so much, Matt Lee.
Yeah.
Real estate tips brought to you by Matt Lee of Royal LePage.